it's nice to see you all. We'll call the meeting to order for this Thursday, October 16th, 2025. Madam Clerk, if you would call the roll.
Trustee Braccolino? Here. Trustee Albuck?
Here.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Here.
Trustee Porter?
Here.
Trustee Kunkel? Here. And Trustee Bincoli?
Here.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance We have a motion to accept the agenda.
So move. Second.
We have a motion and a second.
I'd like to move item, the executive session, item 12, to follow consent agenda item number 7A11.
Second.
After 7A11.
That's correct.
Okay. After consent, okay. We have a motion and a second. Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Albuck?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Kunkel?
Yes.
Trustee Bincoli?
Yes.
And Trustee Braccolino?
Yes.
Thank you. Well, I have a statement, given all the activity today. And I understand why today's arrest of Hanover Park Police Officer Bojovic is of interest to many in our community. The immigration enforcement activities that have taken place throughout the region and the country have been front and center over these last several weeks. I encourage all our residents to gather all the available facts before forming their own opinion as to whether hiring this officer was appropriate. I can tell you with the most utmost confidence that it was appropriate. First and foremost, the village and the police department conducted its own thorough due diligence as part of this hiring process, as is the case with the hiring of all police officers. So please consider the following facts concerning the hiring of Police Officer Bojovic. Before hiring Officer Bojovic, the village confirmed that he was legally authorized by both the state and due diligence and followed the law throughout the hiring process. We will continue to share what information we have and can about this matter going forward. We will be monitoring the immigration proceedings that Officer Bojovic is now facing, and if he is permitted to remain in the United States and remains authorized to work in this country. He will return to Hanover Park Police Department with full duty status, we believe. Thank you. So with that, I will have a proclamation. This proclamation, whereas breast cancer is the most commonly diagnosed cancer among women worldwide, impacting millions of lives each year, and also affecting men. And whereas breast cancer is a disease that knows no boundaries, transcending age, race, ethnicity, and social economic status, affecting individuals and families across the nation and around the globe. Whereas Breast Cancer Awareness Month serves as an annual reminder of the critical need for continued education, advocacy, and support to eradicate this disease, striving for a world where no one has to face a breast cancer diagnosis. And whereas it's essential that we encourage everyone to engage in early detection methods, such as self-exam, mammograms, clinical breast exams, and they are critical and crucial in saving lives by detecting breast cancer at its earliest, most treatable stages. And whereas the collective efforts of healthcare professionals, researchers, survivors, caregivers, and advocates have brought us closer to a future without breast cancer, reminding us of the strength and resilience of those affected by the disease. Now therefore, I, Rodney S. Craig, President of the Village of Hanover Park, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2025 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the Village of Hanover Park. I urge all residents to join in raising awareness about breast cancer, supporting those affected by the disease, and advocating for continued research and improved access to health care. Let us come together as a community, honor the survivors, remembering those that we have lost, and work tirelessly toward a world where breast cancer is but a memory. And Uza,
Uzma, can you come up from the Community Crisis Care Center and meet Mayor at the front? Thank you.
I had to get up and close. It was nice to have you with us. Whereas domestic violence is a serious crime that 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men experience during their lifetime. And whereas domestic violence touches the lives of every citizen in the village of Hanover Park, it harms our community, weakens our families, puts our children in harm's way, undermines what economic stability and negativity impacts our schools and businesses. And whereas only coordinated community effort will put a stop to this horrible crime, we can work together to break the cycle of violence, change attitudes, and support violence, and build a community that is safe for everyone. Whereas Domestic Violence Awareness Month provides an excellent opportunity for citizens to show support for their numerous organizations and individuals who provide critical services, advocacy, and assistance to victims. Whereas we call upon our citizens to stand together against domestic violence, to offer support and understanding to survivors, to learn more about preventing domestic violence, and participate in domestic violence awareness activities. Now, therefore, I, Rodney S. Craig, President of the Village of Hanover Park, do hereby proclaim the month October 25 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in the Village of Hanover Park, and encourage our residents to come together to reaffirm our commitment to ending domestic violence and supporting survivors. And I can't thank you enough for your work. It's work I probably can't do, but thank you very much. And Tish, thank you for working together. Somebody gonna take a photo? Thank you very much. Please meet the board. Take their hand.
Oh, you're good. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hey, how you doing, Trish? You folks? Thank you.
I got it. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
So I understand that another statement is going to be read.
I'm going to read it now.
Yes, but I'd like to take a point of privilege before that is read, if that's all right. To our incredible police department and to our chief, I am so sorry that today's incident has happened to you. I'm so sorry that this administration has failed you. You serve our residents so bravely and with heart and with soul every single day, and I am so sorry that this has happened. And I'm so grateful for the service that you provide every single day to the residents of Hanover Park. This current administration is trampling on our rights. It has been trampling on due process. You know, what happened today has shaken us to our core. It's shaken me to my core. It has made us feel less safe. We deserve so much better than this. ICE has really just been terrorizing our residents on a daily basis. They've conducted raids at schools and grocery stores and targeted people based on the color of their skin. It's madness, and it's un-American, and it needs to stop. Hanover Park is a proud community of immigrants, and I am a proud daughter of Hanover Park, where I was raised, and I am the proud daughter of immigrants, and we will not let ICE intimidate this community. I stand with our law enforcement. I stand with all of our residents. I stand with all of our staff. We will not allow this to continue. I'll pause there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I didn't know there was a backside to the page, so I will reread the statement. Are the cameras ready? I apologize. I understand why today's arrest of Hanover Park Police Officer Bojovic is of interest to so many in our community. The immigration enforcement activities that have been taking place throughout the region and the country have been front and center over these last several weeks. I encourage all our residents to gather all the available facts before forming their own opinion as to whether hiring the officer was appropriate. I can tell you with the utmost confidence it was appropriate. First and foremost, the village and the police department conducted its own thorough due diligence as part of this hiring process, as is the case with the hiring of all police officers. So please considering the following facts concerning the hiring of police officer Bojovic. Before hiring Officer Bojovic, the village confirmed that he was legally authorized by both state and the federal government to work in the United States. At the time of his hire, Officer Bojovic was presented the village with a valid work authorization card, which was issued by the federal government's U.S. Citizen and Immigration Services, along with a valid Illinois driver's license. Background checks performed by the FBI and Illinois State Police revealed no criminal history. If Officer Bojovic did not hold federal work authorization, he would not have been hired. At no time did we receive any notice from the state or federal agency that his work authorization had been revoked. And we have confirmed that based on written guidance from the Department of Justice Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, that Officer Bojovic's immigration status allows him to carry a firearm while on duty. This incident has clearly drawn plenty of attention from our community and beyond. I would just once again encourage everyone to arm themselves with the facts about this specific case before rendering any opinion about our decisions. The bottom line is we performed all necessary due diligence and followed the law throughout the hiring process. We will continue to share what information we can about this matter going forward. We will be monitoring the immigration proceedings that Officer Bojovic is now facing, and if he's permitted to remain in the United States and remain authorized to work in this country. He will return to the Hanover Park Police Department with full duty status. Thank you, trustee, for your point of order on your comments. I think we are offended that our fine police department has to endure this, and I won't belabor that because I have my own opinions. Next, I have town hall session. Those who have signed up. We moved town hall? No, we didn't move town hall.
Go ahead.
I don't see a name. Oh, Patricia Sobrin's parking problem in the area. Patricia, microphone, please.
Hi, Patricia, you'll have 5 minutes.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I am located in the Sutter area in Hanover Park. I've gotten affected by the situation that we have going on with the parking. I have to pick up my daughter at 3 from school, and it's really difficult to get home on time and not find parking in my area. Unfortunately, my spouse doesn't get out of work until 5, so by the time he's trying to get home, it's very difficult to find parking. A lot of my neighbors, they have about 5 cars in one household, and they're working from home. And at 5 in the morning, I observed that they're just moving the cars across the street and saving half a car in front and half a car in the back. And they're waiting for other people to come in to save that parking spot, and it's really affecting the community that everybody lives in, the Hanover Park area for us. We've been trying to, be considerate with one another and tell each other, like, hey, like, if we know their car, can you back it up a little bit? Like, we'll be nice with each other. But other people that get here later, it's just like, it's very impossible to even go to activity with our children because of the parking situation, and also get risked on getting a parking ticket, that it's really going to also help, our situation, that financially we're getting by with everything that's going on. So that's my opinion, just what we're having the problem with the Hanover Park, and hopefully we have a way of solving this and helping the community in our area for us to find a better way of parking.
Thank you.
What area?
The Sutter Drive in Hanover Park.
Center?
We have
Yeah.
the address, trustee.
Oh, okay. Thank you very
Thank,
much.
thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Ryan Runyon? Hello, Ryan.
Hello, how are you doing today?
So far, so
Good
good.
evening.
Good evening. First off, I'd like to just say that I'm a proud resident of Hanover Park. I'm very thankful for the community that we live in. My kids go to school here. It's a wonderful elementary school. I've had the pleasure of following Yasmin and Christy, wonderful trustees and board here. Same thing with the police department. What's going on today is awful. I'm here to talk about parking, but obviously there are bigger stories going on as well. Am I allowed to address both instances while up here? Okay. First off, for the parking, obviously that's a big draw here today. I'm on Old Salem, and when we purchased here, that was one of the things that we counted on. The amount of spaces that we have in the community associations that we live in are very limited. I do think that there have been some good progresses made from the changes as far as widening the space at intersections. That's a safety thing. I support that 100%. We need to keep that open so that way cars, kids, and everyone have visibility, so that way everyone is safe. I support that. However, we have lost so many spaces that it is almost a tax on our assets. Many people in our community are not wealthy. We're getting by. Everyone is. And to almost have a punishment for having more assets. And one of the only things that we can, own nowadays. It's hard to own a home. Most people own a car now. The amount of cars per household has gone up, but the spaces are being taken away. We did have one of the officers address some of the parking situations before this, so I wanted to say thank you, and we'll continue to work together on this. But I really hope that you are open to taking a step back in some of those changes and working with the people in the community to make that a more reasonable change. We want a safe environment as well. And that being said, our community is, like I said, a wonderful one. The fact that we had a officer of our city rounded up by ICE is wrong. the social contract is broken. All right, we depend on all of you to help us as residents fight back and stand for what laws we still have that are going to be followed. I thank all of you and our police forces here now, but something's got to give. If we can't even protect our own, what are we as residents supposed to believe? How are we supposed to feel about that? You know, if they can take one of the ones behind the badge who I don't have all the information, but I can't imagine that someone who is trying to enforce the laws was one of the bad guys. So that's my piece for it. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ryan, if you don't know, last year Hanover Park experienced the lowest crime ever in this community. So we have a lot of pride for our police department. And it's a work in progress. Charmaine, you signed in?
Charmaine? Yes.
I'm not for town hall for agenda item later.
Which one?
13, I believe.
Right. Oh, when we get to the agenda item,
What did you say?
When we get to the agenda, we'll.
did it go on consent?
No. No.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
Oh. Hey, we got a full house tonight. Oh, Carol, oh my goodness. Okay. Brian Godwin, did I say that right? Thank you.
Bobber, yep.
Just speaking on regards to the parking situation, I live in the subdivision that's east of Lake Street near Bear Flag Drive, and just recently they changed throughout the subdivision the parking regulations, made them very confusing for that matter. But on my particular block on Gold Circle, one side is prohibited from parking all day long. I can understand the overcrowding on the street about delivery vehicles and emergency vehicles getting through, but it's really not all that crowded on a weekday. So I don't see why a few cars can't park over there during the weekdays. On the weekends, it gets quite crowded and all that. Understandable maybe why you'd want to have a few more restrictions there to keep that area cleared for vehicles to get through, but I think it's really overbearing when we can't park in our driveway and we have to keep maneuvering our cars around and for each other, and we can't park because there's no place to park anywhere nearby. So it's quite challenging and really quite overburdening. And I like the system they had before about even parking and odd parking overnight. It worked just fine, except for maybe the weekends when it was crowded. But I see no cause to prohibit parking on one side all the time. There needs to be some changes considered for that.
It's a work in progress, I can
Yeah,
tell you.
yep.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank
Thanks
you
for your
very much.
comments. Thank you.
Ada Corral, Sabovida?
Good evening. I'm Commissioner Ada Corral Sepulveda,
Good evening. Good evening,
Thank you.
Commissioner.
and I am here to speak on a few items on the agenda. We have item 4A, swearing in of Officer Radul Bajovic, item 7A10, resolution supporting local authority, and item 7A14, discussion of regulation of use of village-owned property by federal law enforcement agents. So today, I think for many years, I served here for 12 years as village clerk, and it was one of the things that I highlight is how proud I am, how hometown proud I am of my community where I grew up, where my parents continue to live, and I'm raising my children. And it is a safe community, in large part because we have really great neighbors. My daughter rides around her bike, and I feel safe for her to do that. She's 8 years old. And it's also because of our police department and the many years of investment that we have made in taxpayer dollars to be a safe community. We have a community-based policing model. And time again, for well over a decade, we have championed that. Our village also invests in the training of our officers. And tonight was supposed to be a culmination, a celebration of that investment in the swearing in of Officer Radul Bakoyevich. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. And instead we find ourselves making national headlines and accusing our police department and our village of conducting themselves inappropriately and illegally. Nothing could be further from the truth, and I stand with our Chief of Police, Andy Johnson, and our Village of Hanover Park's community-based police department. It seems that to earn some political points, our residents have become the pawns of an administration so invested in promoting hate that they have forgotten what the Constitution of the United States means. It seems that now they've also targeted our police officers. And if the federal government has forgotten what the Constitution of the United States stands for, I think it is incumbent upon us, the residents of Hanover Park, the residents of Cook County, the residents of Illinois, and all of the residents of the United States, to remind them that in these United States, we are still a country of laws. We are still a country that will support due process. And we are a country that will continue to support, as we made the pledge, liberty and justice for all. There isn't an asterisk that says, except you, immigrant. It's for all of us. Native Americans, indigenous people, enslaved people, and all of the hundreds and hundreds of millions of families that have come to this country with a dream to be better. Because that's what my family came from. And it is incumbent upon you all, because when we took an oath, and you were all sworn in as trustees, as clerk and as mayor, you took an oath to the Constitution of the state of Illinois and the Constitution of the United States of America. And as I see today that you're moving to pass a resolution supporting local authority, I would hope that you read that on the record today, out loud, so that we can be reminded of what local government means. Because local government does stand up for itself, even when the state and federal government encroaches upon our rights as municipal government, as a home rule municipality. And so when you discuss today item 7A14, discussion of regulation of use of village-owned property by federal law enforcement agents, I hope that you have with you an understanding that if our very own police officers that have legal and verified documentation by our chief of police and our HR department cannot be expected to be given due process by this federal government, what can the guy riding on the bike in front of Dino's expect? Because I came last week in front of my parents' restaurant, and all I found was a bike and a plastic bag with a man's half-eaten tortilla. A poor man's lunch, 2 apples, and a bottle of water. And without any warrants, they took him. And the only reason his family found out was because the community came together. So as you make these votes and as you have these discussions, you remember what local authority you have, and you remember the oath that you took to the Constitution of the United States, and protect your residents, because the federal government is undermining our police department today and is undermining our safety out in our streets. Thank you.
Your time has expired. Thank you. Okay. How do you argue that? Parking in Bear Flag, again, Diana Forsberg. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to, first of all, say thank you for your support of the police officer of Hanover Park, and I hope that you guys will do everything you can to get him back safely, and I appreciate your support of him. I also support him, so thank you for that. Thank you for that. Good evening. Thank you for hearing from us today. We're here to discuss the parking situation in the subdivision off Lake Street, the Bear Flag Fremont subdivision. We're citizens of Hanover Park and that subdivision. My fiance Nick's been living there since 2017, myself since 2023. When we first moved in, we were really happy to find that the neighborhood was nothing like the impression people seem to have of Hangover Park. People refer to this town as Hangover Park. They cite the existence of gang members and drug users and talk about how junky it is. But when we moved in, we disagreed. We learned that this town and our little subdivision is a diverse, beautiful community of people who are hardworking. Sorry, I'm getting emotional just because I'm speaking in public, not because I'm trying.
It's okay.
So we're all hardworking. We're doing our best to live our lives, keep our expenses down, feel safe and cared for in our own communities. We love our neighborhood, but with some of the more recent parking developments, my fiance and I have been talking about how we need to get out of here, and how oppressive it feels, and how we feel that we are being exploited and played and taken advantage of with the parking situation. Now, I know the police officer who spoke to us outside just now eased some of those fears with some of the things that he told us. I know you're working on the parking, but I think that we need to make it clear what the issues are so that they can be addressed very directly with actionable changes. So first of all, the new signs that were put up, as our friend here mentioned earlier, are completely ineffective and seemed that whoever put them up were eyeballing the distances, because some of them are 5 feet, some of them are 15, some of them are 5.5 car lengths from the front, and like they had already said, that eliminates a lot of spaces in an area that is already extremely limited. So when I get home from work, I'm a teacher at East Aurora High School, another area that's being very exploited by ICE, by the way, so I empathize deeply with that. I work in Aurora. I don't get home till 4:45. He gets home at 5:15. And by the time we get home, there is nowhere to park. Now, I got good legs. I can walk a good distance. But there's people in the area who have disabilities. There's people in the area who are old and have little children and things to carry. And they can't walk 2-3 blocks to their house every time they need to park. I hope that makes sense to everybody. So there's no consistency from sign to sign. The definition of where the signs are doesn't match any of the yellow markings. Apparently the yellow markings were done by the different housing authorities. There's nothing matching. There's no consistency whatsoever. And in fact, after the recent changes, I got a parking ticket recently. I parked on the even side on an even day, just like I know I was supposed to, and I got a parking ticket. And I didn't want to come and fight it, because the last time I got a parking ticket and I came and fought it, they told me, no, you're actually wrong, and then I ended up having to pay an extra $100. So I was terrified into coming and speaking up for myself, because I would have to pay you more money if I was proven wrong, and I didn't have any understanding of why I got the ticket, because I thought I was following all the rules. That seems a little oppressive to me. It feels oppressive. It feels a little not good. Sorry, 0 spaces. Okay. So I understand that you're probably not just predatorily trying to ticket us and exploit us for our money, because you would never do that to us. And by you, I mean the general you. But this is not viable, this situation whatsoever. I understand that there's people that have lots of cars and they do what they were saying earlier about moving them and keeping them and storing them or something, but punish them. The people who keep their cars there, give them the consequences, boot their car, ticket their car, I don't know. Or maybe we all pay a one-time parking ticket or sticker fee or something like that, or keep some of them open at some times or other times. There's lots and lots of ways that I think we could come up with solutions that are actionable. I think, like Brian said earlier, working together with the citizens to hear, so wait, what's actually happening logistically when you're parking? What do we need to actually fix? And not just going in and putting signs that are at arbitrary random distances and no communication. We would like some communication too, maybe a letter about how everything's supposed to work.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
we've got a lot of people talking about parking, and I've been around a while. And I can tell you, I had a nice pathway to capture some of that property that Commonwealth Edison has. And we were on the cusp of some good things when the president got indicted, if you've seen the news, and that all kind of went, "Vroom." I have an opportunity to revisit that, and I've talked to him, and I'm hoping, we know the need over there. And,
Yeah.
This is the second meeting in a row we're hearing about this. All I can say, it's a work in progress.
Yes.
You have my commitment to speak with ComEd. They've known me for more than a few years, so I think we can make some inroads there.
I really appreciate that, and I appreciate the urgency because it's been only 3 or 4 weeks now since these changes, and I've already gotten 3 tickets because of confusion and misunderstandings about what's going on. And it's not viable. And also the overnight parking has already run out because we ran out of parking. So thank you.
Thank you, thank you. We get it.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is question
Armando?
number.
Is it Armando, I think, with the hand raised?
Bevla?
How do you say your last name?
Favela, Arnoldo Favela.
Thank you.
So I know I talked to a few of you over the last couple of months, that I wanted to come in to actually just talk a little bit, express my gratitude for Hanover Park. I'm a proud resident now for almost 8 years. And there's been things that this village has done, that this body has done, that have personally impacted my family. You all allowed a modification on my property that allowed my autistic child to not escape and be safe in our community. And it's been a godsend for my family. In that spirit, I took under my wing a Venezuelan family that I met who had an autistic child as well. And the young father was arrested. Actually, he was pulled over. And it was the police department that did a great job of just meeting him where he was at, giving him information, being really compassionate. And to me, it was a sign of just how great this village is. And I've seen the positions you all have taken this year to try to make residents feel welcome, to feel safe. Things that online, I'm often the person saying, good for you, when there's other voices, often from outside of our own community, making noise, trying to criticize it. So I'm here to stand in support today of your resolution that you're going to discuss related to the use of city property by ICE. I just want to say that, in the work that I do, I talk to lots of folks about how to thread that needle and be able to be safe. Maybe stay out of the gaze of the spotlight. But sometimes it's impossible. And I think what we're starting to see with ICE in general is with the amount of resources, with what they have available, they're going to look for those examples and going to try to pick their spots. I don't think it's a coincidence that today was the day that they decided to, enact this enforcement.
I agree with you.
So they're looking, they're viewing. So it's hard to escape that gaze. What we can do, though, is try to protect our folks the same way that this body helped my family, protected my family, the way that I saw this police department act this year to support someone in need. I know that we can do that en masse, for our community. I think our folks, and I've seen the crime statistics, and I'm proud of it as well, the work that you all have done, the police department as well. It's because of the trust that you've built with folks around here, with the community. And I know that will only be strengthened if they know that our properties that they pay taxes into, aren't being used to set up the hunts to go into the community to look for them. I think at the end of the day, this is also an example to me what's happened with the officer, that we are in a moment where we have to stand up for those around us. There's good people that want to do good work, want to live the American dream, are doing everything. They're not going after the worst of the worst, as they keep on saying. They just keep on villainizing anybody. The fact that he went through such a diligent process set up by this village to get certified, in order to get to the point where he was going to be here, introduced. It shows that he had merit, and I wish this system, this immigration system, recognized that more. We're in a moment right now where it's not doing that for lots and lots of people, for millions of people. But what people can do in these moments where you're not recognized by the federal government, it's to build community locally. And there's an opportunity for this body to do that and to help people feel supported. So thank you for everything you do, and I hope you'll consider that ordinance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, it didn't happen yesterday, but we've been a welcoming community for quite a while. Thank you for your comments. Gerardo Vasquez?
Velasquez?
I apologize if I slaughtered your name. Thank you for coming to.
Good evening, okay? And you know, all of you guys know me, okay? So definitely, I really say thank you to you with the support of your community, okay? But we need to be more strong. I know what happened yesterday or today, okay? But I mean, I think our community is being intimidated by the ICE, and not even Hispanic people. I think it's all over the place, you know? And I don't think so that they're doing the right thing, you know, because they don't give it the rights to the people. They are being catch or being, you know, we see a lot on the news that there's people, they not confronting what they're supposed to be doing. And all I can say, you know, we need your support, and thank you, all of you guys and our police department. I know I've been, you know, with them sometimes that we need help, and they help us on our community. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You should all know that I received a message from our Senator Duckworth, and she's calling together a number of mayors here in a few days and invited me to come and be a part of that conversation about the continued effort of what I call Hanover Park, this family-oriented, safe, welcoming community. I thank you all for coming in and articulating that position and demanding that we continue that role in the leadership of the Village of Hanover Park. I'm proud to be here for as long as I've been here, which is more than a couple of days. But we pulled together a board that is passionate about our town. We are passionate about solving the problems, and we expect it to be safe. We've got 7 school districts that address Hanover Park. We don't have a high school, and I'm in reading to kids in all of those because I believe end-to-end service delivery for our community from the youngest to the oldest, and I believe that. And some of this parking problems, that area has been a problem for a long time. We will address it. I'm in the process of doing that. Unfortunately, the bureaucracy that government brings with it takes time. But I'm at the table and having that dialogue. So thank you all for coming together tonight. My village president's report, I had a whole list of things because we have a lot of items on our agenda. Many of those didn't come off consent. Many of those I am passionate about. Hanover Park is local, it was addressed earlier, local control. We like local control. The state is considering taking some of that control away, and so I stand up against that. I believe the sharing of dollars was at 10%. It's down to 6.5 or something like that. And so it demands time on our community. And we've managed to go 9 years without raising property taxes. I don't know how long we can do that, but we've been working efficiently and effectively for a long time. When you have a police and fire department and a public works department that go the extra mile with education and training and understanding to be exceptional departments. Our staff day to day do exceptional work, extra training time. We close on Wednesday so we can have the training going on and the understanding. Why do we do that? Because it brings a level of competence to the people of Hanover Park and enables us to be smarter about our business and not waste money. So that's gonna, that's gonna be my village president's report tonight. It's not gonna be as, time, item by item, but I want you to know that we are serious about this message I read, and you can hear from a personal privilege of a board member that we are serious about it. And I'm grateful to our police chief who is suffering because this is not how we operate. I believe we've been set up for failure, and I don't like it, and I'm going to speak to it, and I have that opportunity with the senator coming up. So thank you all very much, and with that, I move to approve by unanimous vote items on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second.
And those
Christie,
are
call the
items
roll.
7A1
Yes. Go ahead.
through 7A11.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Kunkel?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Broccolino?
Yes.
And Trustee Alba?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, that takes me down to
7A12.
7A12. Motion to pass an ordinance authorizing the third amendment. Huh? No, no. Herb said after 7:11.
We just did such
We move to executive session.
Correct.
We move to executive.
On 7A12, correct?
Right before 7A12.
He asked for after 7-11.
He asked for after 7:11?
Correct.
So I'm reading 7A12.
No.
It's before.
Well, first of all, no one's done anything, so is there a motion to pass the ordinance on
No.
7A12?
Nope.
There isn't?
Nope, haven't even started it.
Oh, pardon me?
No, we have not.
I was reading it.
We go to closed session.
We're going close it.
Yep. Herb, what was your motion?
We adjourn to executive session and return following.
So the motion for going into executive session would be to go into executive session pursuant to section 2C1 to consider employment and performance of specific employees, and section 2C11 to discuss litigation which has been filed and pending in court.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so we'll come back and begin with 7A12?
Correct.
Okay.
The time is
You have to take a roll call vote.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Kunkel?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Broccolino?
Yes.
Trustee Alba?
Yes.
And Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
The time is 7:50. We are moving to exec.
Very good.
And so the process is they're going to
session. Christie, if you would call the roll.
8:43, Trustee Porter?
Here.
Trustee Kunkel?
Here.
Trustee Bancole?
Here.
Trustee Broccolino?
Here.
Trustee Albuck?
Here.
And Trustee Gutierrez.
Here.
Thank you. 7A12, motion to pass an ordinance authorizing the Third Amendment to the FY 2025 budget of the Village of Hanover Park. 2/3 vote of corporate authority is required. So moved.
Second.
We have motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Christie, call the roll.
Discussion. Did you, 12.
7A12.
Budget? Oh, I apologize. No discussion? Okay, great. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Trustee
moving right
Porter?
along.
Yes.
Trustee Kunkel?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Broccolino?
Yes.
Trustee Albuck?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Mayor Craig?
Aye.
Thank you.
7A13, move to pass a resolution urging the Illinois Congressional Delegation and the Illinois General Assembly to enact legislation prohibiting federal law enforcement agents from concealing their identities.
Yeah.
Can I have a motion first?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have motion and second. We have a request.
Charmaine here to speak on this agenda item, 7A13. You can come on up. Thank you.
Hello, former trustee.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you again.
Yes.
With regards to 7813, I just wanted to say, as a former village trustee, I know that this resolution is non-binding. I implore you to not only pass this resolution, but go beyond and do everything in your power to advocate for our community and for the safety of our residents. There is no place for masked law enforcement in our community and in our democracy. I fled tyranny in Bangladesh as a child, in part to escape this type of rogue government and overreach and secret policing. I have lived and served this community for the last 18 years, but I no longer feel safe here. As my elected officials, please go beyond these words on the papers in front of you and commit to real action to protect our community, and please communicate that to the rest of us. Thanks, that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion of the board?
Yes. I would like to say that I agree with the comments by our former trustee and good friend, Charmaine Shahjahan, that I have long been an opponent of any type of cooperation or collaboration with ICE enforcement activities in Hanover Park. I think that we took a position collectively that we would not try to get out in front of this as maybe to avoid having a target put on us or to draw any undue attention to the village if we were to, take an action. Well, we see where that got us. We still have been placed under the spotlight. The attention has come, and I think now that, the federal government via ICE and law, border enforcement, border control has shown their true nature, I think it's incumbent upon the village to take a very strict position where there is a zero tolerance for federal law enforcement from concealing their identities. I know there's been a recent ruling in our court systems where the judge has ordered that not only do ICE agents identify themselves, but they wear body cams. They're also prohibited from using chemical agents when enacting with crowd dispersal or crowd control. There's very, very limited restrictions, broad restrictions, I should say, on their use of chemical agents in confronting or in crowd control. And I think that we need to reach out to our state's Attorney General, General Kwame Raoul, and ask him to join with other state's Attorney General to make an appeal and a legal move to enforce these type of measures. I know that the federal government has, different types of rights and authorities, but I believe that there's still state rights that can be applied and that can be enforced. And as a municipality, I'm glad to hear that you're joining with other municipalities and other mayors. I would impress upon you to have the other mayors to join with you. Reach out to Attorney General Raul to join with other states' Attorney General to make this rule the law of the land, as the states do whatever we can within our lane and within our purview to resist this authoritarian takeover of our government.
Thank you. And my comment is seeking discussion on this matter tonight, because I know I have opportunities ahead of me with a number of legislators, and to sit down with them, as I've identified earlier, to bring mayors together. I know many that are, I've already been called with Mayor Waukegan and others. So to pull that together in a collaborative approach and then come back at our next meeting with a resolution that makes sense. And as I move along that path, I'll keep you all apprised of what that resolution looks like and what kind of support we can get.
Yes, and I'm in favor of this resolution, but I think it certainly is going to be open to amendments and revisions as we move forward to strengthen it and make it have more teeth than is, that currently resides in its current format.
I believe that's true. Any other comments?
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
To our former trustee, thank you so much for your words. It is painful to hear that you no longer feel safe because of these actions from these federal agents, but your concerns are very valid, and I hear you. And I commit, right, not just words, but with actions, to do my part in addressing this issue. I commit that to you, and I commit that to every single inhabitant within our village, whether they're a resident or not. So thank you for your words. And I also just want to thank the board for, when I initially brought this to the board, I felt very impassioned by it. I know there's many others that are impassioned on this issue. So I thank the board for allowing this on the agenda. And I also thank the board. I think some of the action that we'll be able to see will be on the next agenda item, which is the regulation of village-owned properties, because I do think that that's where we kind of have a bit more say-so. And so I look forward to that discussion on that item as well. Thank you.
We're certainly not bashful about our village. Anyone else?
Yeah, I would like to say something, Mayor.
Okay.
As a former soldier who served for 40 years in the United States Army, I participated in several conflicts. The majority of the conflicts that I'm allowed to talk about, that's because they were conventional conflicts. I also participated in conflicts that are of a more unconventional nature. The current terminology about those conflicts would be terms like counterinsurgency. However, I also worked on the side of insurgency, and those are conflicts that I can't discuss in great detail, but I will submit that what my insurgents were often facing is situations like people in the United States are facing today. So they would be faced by federal troops, something like an army. They would be faced by law enforcement, something like a police force. And in those countries where my insurgents were working, that I had worked so diligently to train and prepare for their insurgency, because at the time, those were fights that were on the side of right, in the greater sense of right and wrong. And they were fighting against troops and police force that are also masked in those situations. And part of the reason for those situations where those troops and those police forces were wearing masks is because ultimately those authorities were not on the side of right from the sense of right and wrong. And they knew it. And that's why they were wearing masks. And that's partly why I support a resolution for authorities operating in our community to not wear masks in that situation. Even in the case of sometimes in uniform, it makes sense to wear a mask. When I was stationed at the 10th Mountain Infantry Division in upstate New York, it's in the snow footprint of the Great Lakes, and it snows 8 inches a day for almost 8 months a year. I might be exaggerating just a little. And we're always in the snow. So we would wear a balaclava or what they call a neck gaiter, and the neck gaiter is the part that you pull up to your nose to keep your face protected from the cold weather. I'm so against the things that are going on today that I'm not going to be compassionate to those law enforcement, the ICE agents, being cold when the winter comes. I don't even want them to be allowed to wear a neck gaiter if this is how they're going to behave in our community. That's all I have to say about that.
Well said. Thank you. Anyone else? John? Anything? Jenny, anything? I will even ask the clerk. Do you have any comment?
No.
Okay. With that, I have my direction on, we'll come back with a resolution.
No, this is
We have
seven,
a motion and a second.
I have a motion and a second. Can I take roll?
7A4, yeah.
I have a motion and a second.
For 13.
Okay, so
All right.
take the roll, Christie.
Trustee Kunkel?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Broccolino?
Yes.
Trustee Alba?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Absolutely, yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Thank you.
I have my direction. How's that?
Now
Okay.
7A14.
7A14, discussion of regulation of use of village-owned property by federal law enforcement agencies.
So move.
No, it's a discussion.
Oh, just discussion, okay.
We have a motion?
We don't need a motion because it's a discussion.
Oh, it says
Okay.
discussion.
So this I do have an opinion
Oh, okay.
All right. So as many of you know, I went back to school during COVID so that I can practice immigration law, right? And during my day, that's what I do in social services. And I'm also responding to the needs of this community when ICE comes calling. In the last 3 months, we have 13 verified ICE reports. So when we're saying that we don't want to call attention to ourselves, unfortunately, the community already knows. It's like we don't want to call attention to something that's already happening, that we already know it's happening. And so the community has already made it very clear that they don't want this type of enforcement here. Our police department has worked, as Ada was saying, for so many years to build community policing, and this is just eroding it. And I know it because they come to our social workers and they say, I'm afraid to call police. Please don't call police. We had a case where this kid didn't show up after school. No, don't call police. We'll go find her. It's like, no, you want to call the police. Well, we're afraid because you dealt with immigration. So even though we've done a great job of letting them know the Trust Act. And so I've told you that they are purposely doing stops in front of our police departments or near our municipal buildings. On October 10th in Hoffman Estates, we saw something horrible that I don't want to see in this town. We saw a poor 15-year-old girl just taken from a car from a man that seems like a Goliath to me. I mean, everybody's pretty big to me. I'm only 5 feet tall, but this guy really was big. Pulls this girl out and sits on her neck, right? It took 3 hours for them to call somebody to get her some medical care. 3 hours because people were afraid to say something. That's not what I want here. What's worse is they were using the police lot absolutely, completely out of order with the Trust Act, okay? And all this does is just make the community understand that then there's police and then there's us. And that's what we've been trying to avoid, right? For years. So when I tell you that police has been around, that ICE, has been around 13 times in the last 3 months verified, picking up people, I can tell you that it has happened. We have stats on this, we follow up. And it's not just me, there's an army of people behind us that we keep safe. For their safety, we keep them, anonymous. And we're out there doing this work. 13's a little bit too much. It's 13 too high for me, especially when they're going to our school. And I go there, and there's one parked at every corner just scouting, And maybe to the regular eye, well, that just looks like a regular guy. But we know license plates, we know cars, right? We're well-educated people. They're in our area and they're active. And to hear that they're willing to even use our lots to do this sort of thing, it just erodes the community. It becomes toxic in our community. And there's no way that we can stand for this. Now, it's bad enough that it is an enforcement of people that are not criminal, but the way they're doing it adds to it. When you come down to it, the majority of people that have been abducted are not criminal. I'm going to say, I keep saying this till people get in their head. Immigration law is a civil issue. It is not a criminal issue. It never has been. And trying to criminalize it and say things like it's criminal is just gaslighting us, like they try to do with our officer. Just like they did in Hoffman Estates, and then they said, oh, this is a year old. No, that happened on October 10th because we were there. We were there. And so, given that this administration really has no respect for the people in our community, given that we've worked so hard, so very hard to get people to trust us, and you heard the community say, I love it. I've been here since 2008, and I love it. I love living here. It's a great, safe place. I've left my garage door open at night, and yes, I got some raccoons, but nobody came in and took stuff. Had that happened where I lived in Chicago, totally different story, right? And so we have no choice than to actually pass this ordinance and not to take it beyond this discussion, but actually bring it written down where we have a statement that says that our village-owned property is for people that are here to do business in a safe way. Because honestly, my clients are going to be scared to come and pay their water bill. They're going to be scared to call 911. They're going to be scared to come up to our Hispanic Heritage Month celebrations. They're going to be scared. And it's just counterproductive to everything that we've worked so hard to do. I mean, look at us. Trustee Porter, you always say we're not just the United Colors of Benetton, right? We really mean what we're standing for. And so I hope that this is not just a discussion here, but I really want to see this at the next agenda. Thank you for putting up with me.
Yeah, and if I could echo that, part of my disappointment with what happened, you said there have been 13 verified cases of abductions.
In the last 3 months.
Is what I will call them. And I'm disappointed in us as a village and us as a society. No disrespect to our police department, but it took the seizure of a police officer for this to garner the kind of attention that first abduction of that first of the 13 people should have raised the same type of an alarm. Absolutely. The alarm should have gone off, the whistle should have gone off when that first person was snatched off the streets. Unfortunately, it took them to abduct a police officer for now to gain this type of notoriety and this type of attention. And I think shame on us as a society that we allowed it to go that far before we reacted and decided to take a visible stance, a public stance against this type of action. I think that we should look at a resolution that will bar federal law enforcement agents from using the municipal-owned properties. I think this detainment of the police officer was an act of total disrespect and disregard for our police department. We have a gangs crime unit. We have units that investigate those type of crimes. We have a very effective police department. For someone to insinuate that those type of criminal activities are occurring within our town unnoticed and uninvestigated or unattended by a police department is an extreme insult to me, to the integrity of our police department. I know that we have units that are assigned to all of those, not immigration, it's not one of their responsibilities, but if there are known criminal elements, this Tren de Agua or this Group 13 that they're talking about, Trente de Agua, I think, if there are those type of criminal elements in our town, I believe our police department is on top of that. And they know that not because of their immigration status, but because of their illegal activities, and that they are investigating those things and are doing everything that they can to contain and mitigate and control those activities. So I see that what's happening is an act of total disrespect and disregard, and I think it's from a political stance, I believe that it is in response to our governor's stance against the illegal activities of ICE in our community. I think that we are pawns in a larger struggle that's going on, and that this is directed at J.B. Pritzker because he has openly defied the administration and their enforcement activities. He's openly defied that, and I think that now we have been caught up in this, and I think it has nothing to do with that police officer, which I think these charges are trumped up and have been really mismanaged for them to do this detainment. And I truly believe that, you know, when it's all said and done, and hopefully we get his release and his return to our community, that it will become evident what this was all about.
Thank you, Herb. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd like to jump in on this. First of all, I'd like to echo the comments that some of my compatriots here on the board have made. I'm in support of what they're saying. But I also would like to add in my perspective from my experience, as I did last time on this as well. I mentioned earlier that I served for a long time as a uniformed soldier, an airborne ranger, infantry officer in the United States Army. I fought in a few wars before America supported the troops again, if you can believe such a thing. I went to wars where they would tell you the war's on, you go to the PHI, you get live ammo, you go to the war, you do it, you come back, you turn whatever ammo's left over, and then you go back to training, and no one really knows. The fourth war that I went to was Desert Storm, and on that one it changed. We got back from that war, and there were people that were cheering for us. There were parades about that war, and we were all kind of shocked. I thought for a second they dropped us off back in the wrong country. Because what had happened was, while we were gone, it had become popular to say things like support the troops and to tie yellow ribbons on things, which I don't know how that helps to buy a yellow ribbon from China, or get a yellow ribbon magnet from China and then put it on the back of your car, and now you love the Army. I mean, that's great. I mean, I appreciate it, but it didn't make any sense to me at the time. But now the situation is so messed up that now we have troops on the street supporting unconstitutional activity. And what's that going to do to the people that are currently dressing like a tree the way that I used to? That's going to bring that pendulum all the way back to the other side. And people are going to stop supporting the troops. This to me seems like an unwise strategy. It just doesn't make any sense. And as someone who was sworn to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, it's becoming very clear that the enemy to our Constitution is us. And this again puts me in cognitive dissonance. I don't understand. And very specifically, I would like to say to the ICE agents, you know, that are doing the things that we're seeing at the apartment complex in Chicago or in the communities next to us and in our own community, I very much resent your service. That's all I have to say for now.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Thank you to Trustee Porter and Trustee Gutierrez and Trustee Albuck for their comments. I very much echo their comments as well. And again, thank you to the board for supporting my original motion to have a discussion as it relates to the regulation of usage to village-owned property by federal law enforcement agents. So I don't want to repeat what has already been stated. I would just like to use my time focusing on what a potential resolution, or ordinance, excuse me, what a potential ordinance may look like. And so since I made the first motion on October 2nd, and then we supported the discussion. So since then, a municipality in the Chicagoland area has also had this discussion and has been able to move forward with an ordinance that they've passed. And I think that it allows us to, in a meaningful way, know what this ordinance, what could entail in this ordinance, what this ordinance would actually look like. And so I just wanted to read just a couple of bullet points that are found in another municipality's ordinance of a similar nature. So what it could look like. So prohibiting any village-owned or controlled parking lot from being used as a staging area, a processing location, operations base, or other things to support federal immigration enforcement. And that includes assembling, mobilizing, deploying vehicles, materials, personnel. So that's one portion of the ordinance. Another aspect of this ordinance is so directing our village to have some signage, right, that clearly states that this lot, and I'm just gonna read it verbatim because I don't want to get this wrong. So directing the village to identify village-owned properties, right, properties that we own that could be used as enforcement staging areas, and to clearly post signage identifying these properties as village-owned and stating that they cannot be used for federal immigration enforcement. That, to me, that makes sense. Another thing that I would, this municipality also combined another type of signage. And so they said that, that they wanted to direct the village to design and print signage for private property owners that could be available free of charge to private entities, including businesses, medical providers, nonprofit organizations, and faith institutions. And I think that that's a really, that would be a really vital portion of this ordinance as well, just because I'm you know, our commissioner, our dear commissioner, gave a really impassioned speech earlier tonight, but also mentioned the incident that occurred not too long ago in front of Dino's. Excuse me. My apologies. The incident that happened, occurred in front of Dino's last week, where what appeared to be one of our residents was physically taken by an ICE agent, and all that's left was their food and their bike, and it's heartbreaking. But also, to follow up on that, I'm so sorry. Excuse me, I apologize. To follow up on that, I also think that our businesses need to know what their rights are as well. Because I spoke with our business owner, and he said it's impacting his business, you know? And that kills me. That kills me because, you know, Dino's has been such an institution and such a partner in our community for so many years. And we want our residents to feel like they can grocery shop in peace, right? And not be stolen. But I also want to make sure that our businesses are empowered, and that they know that, hey, if I own this business, you know, I get to tell you whether or not you can enter my privately owned property. So I think that that's also a really critical piece to it as well. The other thing that this, I'll wrap it up, but one other thing is that I think that we have been, how do I say this? I think the ways that how do I say this? I think that we also, in this ordinance, I would love for us in this ordinance to also create some sort of communication guideline. So, what I mean is, if in fact, you know, ICE is using one of our facilities, you know, what is the communication pathway there, right? Are we, is someone that observes it, are they notifying, you know, their supervisor? Is it just making sure we have a record of it? And I say that because sometimes these communications, you know, these operations, they happen so quickly, and sometimes we hear it from our residents before we hear it from another source. And so just knowing, just having some sort of guidance, directing our staff to maybe just put forth some sort of communication pathway that they believe will there just needs to be some order, is what I'm trying to say.
Like a protocol.
I'm losing my words, but I think there
protocol.
needs to be some order. Thank you, protocol, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Trustee Gutierrez. And so I wanted to just bring this before the board because these are, I think these are reasonable. I feel some level of confidence that there is already, you know, another suburban Chicagoland municipality that's already, you know, spent some time on this and the language and the things that they believe are within their purview. And so those are some of the things that I would request be included in our ordinance and ready for our board to review and vote on during our November 6th board meeting.
I'd like to add that those signs, some friends of the village are already doing this. When we canvass, we're telling the stores, you know, here's a sign, and it says, you know, DHSIs cannot park here unless you have a judicial warrant. And then you have to show it. Of course, nobody's been producing warrants. So when I canvassed, we gave them to them, and they can post them up. But I like for that to be something that you can just download it. So any business owner can, you can download those signs and make them easy, printable, et cetera. Whereas those that are with the village, those should be more, you know, hardy, so they can withstand what's going on. I'm very interested in the protocol for communicating when something happens. I'm sorry, I'm very interested in the protocol when somebody sees something, right? So let's say that I'm not a village, staff. How do I notify anybody that, oh, hey, this is happening in the backyard there? I saw somebody parking in the police, in like what's happened in some of our villages where they're allowing immigration officers to use their restrooms. And so they'll park there for a while, or they'll just park there to scout before they go. So how will the public be able to communicate that? Like what kind of protocol? I'd like to see that in that one.
I have a question for anyone in our administration. Is there any knowledge of any village property that's been used for staging by ICE? Are we aware that that's happening? Yes. And is it widespread, or is it certain locations? Two occasions. And our response to that is?
The staff notified the police department when they noticed that it was taking place.
And was there any follow-up to that, or is there what?
Yeah, we discussed it at the staff level and at the police department level, and when we notice it, what I direct our supervisors to do is go out there and ask them to leave. You know, there's some question whether or not we can force them to, but we're going to be asking them to leave.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to reiterate something real quick. With the Trust Act, there was questions about whether the parking lot, it being public, was that something that they could even park there? It is covered by the Trust Act. Our partners at NIDC and ICER, I've been looking into it, made it clear, that covers your parking lot. So they shouldn't be there. The police department parking lot. Yeah, so that's why we want this, so that we can cover the other lots.
I just will ask for legal guidance from whoever on whether we're able to do that.
When those ICE elements were asked to leave, did they depart the area?
No, we haven't, we didn't have contact with them. That's what I directed our supervisors to do in the future, if they're able to. In this particular case, some employees noticed them as they were leaving.
All right, thanks, Chief. Also, if we're going to do a resolution, based on my experience, when you're talking about staging, they're using a lot as a staging area, I would also like to make sure that we add a line that it's not appropriate for them to either load or clear weapons in those locations. Because I've heard at least of 2 anecdotal reports, I wasn't there, of negligent discharge on the part of the ICE agents. So live rounds being fired apropos to nothing, because they were loading or unloading weapons and had an accident while doing that. Also, in my observations of videos of these operations, like the cordon and search that they performed at the apartment building in Chicago, their weapons handling is very, very sloppy. I've trained foreign national insurgents in those operations, cordon and search, and I would never let my guys perform an iteration of a cordon and search and be so sloppy with their orientation of their weapons, the way that they're carrying their weapons. I noticed weapons were not on safe as they were moving, assault rifles not being on safe. This is very unsafe, to my eye, weapons employment of small arms in pursuance of a cordon and search. So I would ask that at least one of the lines in that resolution addresses that they will not load or clear weapons. They have no clearing barrel, they have no safe orientation available to load and unload their weapons in those places in almost every case. So let's just make it a part of the resolution that they're going to stage, they're not going to stage, and they're definitely not going to clear or load weapons in those places. Thanks.
I support that.
Juliana?
So I've heard some say resolution, some say ordinance. My concern with an ordinance, and the village attorney can comment on this, is that if it's an ordinance, there's usually a provision for us to enforce, and I'm not sure we have the capacity to enforce what this would say.
So that could be part of our homework.
So
I
yeah.
think that since we're dealing with federal entities here, our legality for enforcement is probably limited since we are dealing with the federal government. I think a resolution, until the legislators in Springfield take some action and set some pathways forward for us, I think the furthest we can go is with a strongly worded resolution. I think an ordinance would probably be in violation. Even though it might be in alliance with the Trust Act, I think it would be in violation because there's no enforcement associated with the Trust Act.
Thank you, Trustee Porter. While recognizing Trustee Porter's comments, I'd like for us to do our due diligence on the enforcement of an ordinance. I don't want to just say that we can't do an ordinance. I'll just say, when I spoke, when I first started my remarks, I misspoke. I said resolution, I meant an ordinance. And so I'd like a little bit more information about what that ordinance would entail. And so I would appreciate if Attorney Paul or whoever was able to give us some additional legal guidance as well. I also just wanted to make sure that I had on the record that I supported Trustee Albuck's statement. Into this, I'll use the word ordinance. And then also Trustee Gutierrez also brought up the bathrooms. I forgot to mention that. I would also support further looking into that usage as well. But I also think that this requires a motion.
No discussion.
So Trustee Grant-Faithfully, what you were referring to earlier and reading from the points that municipality has in the form of a resolution.
Okay. Yeah, no, I understand that. But I still would like to understand, I still would like both to be looked into and researched.
Okay,
So
you
we can
can,
just have
you
that
can look
information.
into that. I have a concern around enforcement that would pin federal agents with weapons and police officers of the village with weapons that could end up in some type of conflict that is not appropriate. And I'm gonna also say, a lot of the property at the train station was acquired through a federal grant. And so what rights do they have on that property or not? So I think there's a number of questions that I have concerns around, and we've got to address those.
I respect that.
Okay,
I
thank
respect
you.
that.
Yeah, just a concern, you know.
No, I respect
All that. I don't want to get a call in the middle of the night and say, you know,
But I guess from what I understand, I need to make a motion so that we can have something on the books. So
Can there be a motion?
Discussion? There can be a motion so long as it's not final application.
So I motion that as a board, we move forward on formalizing an ordinance and/or resolution that would clearly provide regulation and prohibit the usage of village-owned property by federal immigration law enforcement.
Second.
With that- oh,
would that be in the form of
wait.
an ordinance?
I don't know that you've done yet.
And,
Guidance.
wait, I'm not done.
Do that.
And, so with that motion, the directive that was discussed today be considered for that resolution and/or ordinance, and that be available for board review and approval for our next meeting on Thursday, November 6, 2025. Now,
Second.
thank you. Thank you.
Before we take the vote, I'd like to ask the administration, does that give you ample time to do the research and formulate an ordinance and a resolution with what's currently on our plate with the budget and some other things? I appreciate the urgency of it, but I also know that, you know, our staffing limitations. Does that fit within your timetable and your schedule?
I think it'll depend on Cory's schedule.
I would say, from my point of view, it's probably a little tight.
What does that mean?
The time period, I'm going away, I'm gonna be gone for 10 days. I don't hope to be working on anything during that period of time.
Okay.
But you might find, I mean, maybe you can find someone else.
Can we,
Can you take your laptop?
Well, you're talking a week, okay? When we sit down and have the agenda review next Thursday,
I mean, it's three,
That's not
it's
a lot
three,
of
it's
time.
3 weeks from now.
pardon me?
It's 3 weeks from now?
Yeah, that'd be more reasonable.
It's 2
Right.
weeks before the packet has to be done, and the
Yeah, I
village
think it's being
attorney is
done
out
Friday.
for that entire time.
Oh, the 6th is 3 weeks away?
Yeah.
Oh,
We're in a.
I'm thinking the normal.
Why don't you just say, as soon as possible and with some urgency?
So,
Or say,
so to
or
clarify,
say the next meeting, if you want, either way.
so are we, so just to clarify, are we not able to have this before the board?
I think we're gonna give it every effort to have
I
it.
think the answer is you probably are able to, it just depends on how much effort and whatever the village is gonna put forward to do it. That's what I would say, whether it be me or someone else.
Okay.
There is a
What-
sense of urgency here, folks. We have families being torn apart. We can't find them in the system. Usually find them within 72 hours. We can't find them, okay?
Well, what we're talking about is a resolution, and so,
But this resolution affects where these, where ICE is operating. And so if we can deter them somehow,
I want to have it as soon as possible.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
No objection.
And my meeting with Tammy Duckworth is tomorrow. Okay, so it's not like I'm spreading this out weeks.
Barry's already indicated that he's not sure he's going to be able to meet that expectation.
Right.
Well, let's give it every effort.
I think I'd like to give it every effort, and
Yes.
then if we're not able to do that, then let's
Okay.
talk about it. Yeah.
I'm not kicking the can down the road
I
on
know,
this thing.
I know.
It'll either be the 6th at our best effort. If it can't be the 6th, it will be the 20th, unless there's another meeting we can put it on the agenda for.
We're going to be praying for the 6th.
Okay, I think we get it. Let's not belabor it anymore.
Okay.
There was a motion and a second.
There was a motion.
Yes, sir.
Well, on the motion that she just made for the.
She made a motion. I'm not even sure what the motion says.
She made a motion so that
We can have.
we can have either a resolution and ordinance drawn up with the points that we discussed here.
Okay.
Trustee Porter?
You got that written?
I have.
Okay.
Trustee Kunkel?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Broccolino?
Yes.
Trustee Alba?
Yes.
And Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
I'd like to also bring up an item that was discussed during our town hall with the.
Can you wait till you have your time?
We still,
Oh, doing the trustee, oh.
Yeah.
It's going on so long.
Yeah.
Time.
we still have 2 more to go.
It's like we had trustee time.
So close.
7815, move to approve warrant 1016-2025 in the amount of $1,909,599.75.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Kunkel?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Broccolino?
Yes.
Trustee Alba?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
And Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. 7816, move to approve warrant paid in advance, 9/27/2025 through 10/9/2025 in the amount of $1,057,094.11.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Broccolino?
Yes.
Trustee Alba?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
And Trustee Kunkel?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Village managers report.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you.
Reminder that we have a budget hearing next week,
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yep.
Can everybody indicate whether they're gonna be there or not? It's our only meeting on the budget.
I will be.
That's,
I'll be there.
we'll all be there.
Just Jenny will
I
not.
can't be there.
But we knew that.
I will be late.
No kidding.
Thanks. No, I have a prior commitment, so I will not be there at the start.
Will I have quorum for the budget meeting?
You'll have 1, 2, 3,
I'll be
4.
there.
You'll have
Four.
4 with Mayor and I, yes. We'll be
Okay.
Okay.
fine. At 6 PM.
That's
Correct?
my heart. Will be-
Thank you.
Is
Village
2
clerk's
minutes,
report.
6 PM?
Starts at 6, right?
Okay, just want to make, confirm.
It starts at 6 PM.
Great.
Remy is going to speak as fast, but as she can. If what we don't finish that night, we have a stop at 9. We will finish under my report on the 6th.
Okay. Sounds good.
But, yeah, so I guess if trustee Roccolino maybe could watch the meeting before the 6th.
Okay.
Village clerk's report.
Just wanted to say thank you to the village for supporting my continuing education as village clerk and going down to Bloomington Normal last week to do year 2 of clerk training. Just submitted my paperwork for registered clerk, so we're in the right direction, and next year will be my last year to do certified clerk, so thank you. That is all, sir.
Well done. Corporation Council report.
No report, thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Broccolino, congratulations on your marathon.
Thank you.
Complete.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that I was glad to see the proclamation for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and that it is, domestic violence is not just physical, it's also emotional, mental, financially, and psychological. And I would like to just honor those survivors and remember those who we've lost and commit to breaking the silence. I want every victim to know that they are not alone and to not be afraid to speak up, and that there are resources available to help.
Thank you.
Trustee Albuck.
Mayor, in the interest of time, I have no report.
I think you said a mouthful.
That's great. Fully lit.
Trustee Gutierrez.
Yes, just 4 things. Number 1, go Cubs, right, Jenny? Yes. And then if anybody sees someone being kidnapped, if anybody needs an attorney for immigration purposes, the Family Support Hotline at 855-435-7693, 855-435-7693 will connect you with someone, and you can report any kidnappings there as well. On November 8th from 10 to 12, the Hysterical Committee will be archiving our historical documents. Some are hysterical, some aren't. So if you're not doing anything, November 8th, 10 to 12, we'll have coffee and donuts for you after you archive, because these are delicate pictures, of course. And then Happy Halloween. And what are our hours for trick-or-treating?
3 to 7.
What?
3 to 7.
3 to 7. So to all these high school kids that come to my house at 9 o'clock, it's 3 to 7 p.m. That's all. Happy Halloween.
Trustee Porter.
Thank you. I just have one item. A number of our residents showed up today to discuss the situation with parking. And in an effort to provide some relief to our residents, especially since there seems to be widespread confusion about the directions of the signage, the restrictions, is it possible that while we are looking at trying to figure out a way to resolve this, that we could impose a moratorium on parking tickets while we are investigating this and coming up with a solution? The fact that residents are getting 3 tickets within a week's time because they're trying to figure out the right and the wrong of it, it just seems a little unfair to me. I know that, you know, we don't do parking enforcement as a means to generate revenue. At least I hope that's not why we do parking enforcement. And with that being said, I'd like to consider a moratorium for 60 days or whatever it may be until we figure out a reasonable solution to this parking situation and the enforcement of that. I didn't ask for a motion. I just consideration.
Can you say that again?
Yeah, I can speak to that. So in the subdivision in question, Rainbow Point, the Glens, Fremont Junction, seems to be in need of some adjustment, frankly. 2 weeks ago, I put into place a stop on overnight parking enforcement in there while we get it sorted. I anticipate bringing some rollback to the board. I want to do it all at once, though, rather than come back multiple times. So we're taking all the complaints as they come and looking at everybody's individual situation, and I do anticipate at one of the November board meetings bringing some slight adjustments in that area specifically. But we've held off on night parking for a couple weeks now, and we'll continue until we make that move.
Thank you, Chief. That concludes my remarks.
Thank you. Trustee Kunkel?
Yes, I attended the Hispanic Heritage celebrations. I couldn't hear for 2 days after the drums for anybody that was there. I'm sure you could. They just echoed in the room that we were in. They were pretty loud. But it was good. Take them. POC board. I met with them a couple weeks ago. Still in need of winter clothes, the jackets, gloves, scarves, and all of that. They are also, I found out, they were also going to have a giving tree at the POC for Christmas, and the gloves and stuff will be hung on the tree for the kids to pick out. They also needed food, non-perishable food, please. Preferably box food, right? Box food. Canned food, we have difficulty having a can opener for a lot of people that do come in. That's the hardest thing. And garbage pickup is next week for Area 3. continuing on. And that's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Thank you, trustee Kunkel. Trustee Bancole?
Thank you. Excuse me. Would like to thank our fire department for their annual and very successful open house. There was a lot of families that were there that really enjoyed learning about fire safety and getting to meet our fire department. So thank you so much for putting on that event year after year. Thank you to our, excuse me, CIDC committee for their efforts to put on our Hispanic Heritage Month event. From what I understand, the performers drove in from Minneapolis to do that performance, and I was blown away because they were really just talented. And I also want to express my sincere gratitude to Barry and Courtney, who are also able to help with putting on that event and made it a success. I also want to flag that we have several new restaurants in town, but one that I was able to try recently is called Chicago Pros. They are on the corner of Barrington and Irving Park Road. Their food is a fusion of American and Mexican food. I mean, they have Philly cheesesteaks, smash burgers, tacos, like you name it. And for those that are of our Muslim community, the food is halal. And so every time I've gone in there, there's been people in there, they enjoy it. And so I would just encourage all of our board members to go as well. And last but not least, I again just want to not only address our staff and our PD, but our residents, but really everyone that may be watching, that this is a special community. We care about everyone in this community. We care about everyone that works on behalf of this community. And we will continue to do everything in our power to make that known. And I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me see here. Have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
9:41.